It's Colby. Colby Joyner.
Colby
Joyner is with us today. Let's brew. Tag your friends, tag your neighbors.
Let's go.
Tag them all. Let's brew.
We got Colby.
Going on, car guys and car gals. It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, and we are excited to be brewing with you. But we need more inside of the cafe today.
You know the
so
deal.
Do us a favor, do yourselves a favor, and do the automotive industry a favor and
Share.
Tag a car guy.
Share.
Tag a car gal.
Share.
And share.
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 Share. Share. Share.
Yeah,
Tag
share
that
this
share
thing
button,
around,
baby.
my friends. This
Get
is
that
important.
around.
We have somebody in the cafe that is going to rock the mic.
That's
He's
right.
somebody we consider a brother, somebody that we've actually grown up over the last year or so, getting to know him.
Right.
We met
At a
him
mile.
at Digital Dealer last year, 2021, and man, was that fun getting to know him. He was just this tall guy that I was like, who is this guy? He's hanging out with the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Flores. But man, he was right there, right beside him, and you could tell he was somebody important. Of course, as we got to know him and as we got to grow with him, we found out that he's more than just important. He's a brother. So we're excited to have him on the show today. Lou, what's up?
Well, there is lots of things that could be said about this incredible guest that's brewing solutions with us today. But one of them has been Brian Kramer said that he is a great student of the business. And that's something that is something we encourage all of you solutionaries to be out there. No matter what level it is that you get at, remain a humble student that is consistently trying to find the best, not just inside of yourself, but inside of other people. And his commitment to finding the best inside of other people has brewed solutions with many people in the industry. And right now there's some fresh hotness that's going on, which is exactly why it's taken up to now to get this solutionary inside of the cafe, because now he is brewing solutions representing a brand of his own. And we are pumped up to talk about what's happening. So check him out. Make sure that you do yourself a favor and go to carguycoffee.com if there's any more information that you need about what it takes to support this incredible message to forgive, focus, fly, keep growing, and keep brewing solutions instead of percolating problems.
Nobody likes percolating problems. Nobody likes percolating problems. Well, negative people do. And you know what? I'm not about that. I'm about moving forward and growing, right? So that's what we're about. But we're going to encourage those negative people to understand you can still forgive at any moment. Focus and fly. Man, I can't wait to get this guy on the show.
Let's go. Let's do this. Well, cheers to that. Look at you, Mr. MC. I like it. Looking all nice in Miami. Doesn't he look very Miami Vice today?
I'm ready to go to somewhere like Miami, right?
Well, in the spirit of where it is that we did meet Kobe, it was in Tampa, Florida, and it was nice and tropical like the jackets that Kobe consistently tends to wear. These tropical
that's why I had to dress up.
Looks like this. Look at this, Kobe. This is like a signature jacket right here, folks. Like this jacket and this guy go together. Okay, but he's rocking another jacket, another shade, but we're ready to go ahead and get him into the cafe. So y'all ready for us? Let's go ahead and get this solutionary inside of the building.
You know the
so
deal.
Car guys and car gals, make welcome. Go ahead and throw the claps inside of the emoji comment section, right? And make welcome the one, the only, Colby Joyner. There he is. Hey,
what up? What up? What up?
Hey,
what's
welcome
up,
to the party, my friend.
Man.
Man, I think that's the most anybody's ever talked about me in the last 2 days.
Oh, well,
2
there's
days.
plenty more where that came from, sir.
Dude, we love you. We appreciate you. Excited to have you on the show. Now, we've got a chance to have him on the show before doing 5 minutes of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to do that over at the Digital Dealer event down in Tampa just recently on our 1-year anniversary of knowing each other, basically, right? Actually, last week was the 1 year because it was a week. It was last week was a year ago when that first event was. But
I saw the Facebook memories pop up.
Me too, man. I was like, holy smokes. I felt younger in those pictures. I think I've aged a lot in the last year, but hey, what a year this has been. It's been a lot of work, but we've been having a lot of fun. And I know that you've been a big part of what we've done and seen what we've done. And we've seen what you've done, man. And that's why we have you on the show today. It's about expressing what you are, expressing to the people out there how great of a person that we have in the industry called automotive, somebody like Colby Joyner, man. I'm pumped up to have you, bro. Excited. You know how we feel about you. We love you. We FaceTime quite a bit. We get to hang out, high five when we see each other, ride scooters around town, almost run into cops. You know, Lou does that, but
well, that's a Lou thing. Lou's almost running into cops.
Oh man. Awesome, man. It was
cops running into me.
They need to be looking out.
That's what I'm saying.
They definitely need to be looking out when you're riding around for sure.
Yeah. But seriously, folks, there's a lot of adventures that we've been on so far inside of this short year that we have been friends. Some of the most intimate time that we do have together really is inside of a group of incredible car guys that come together, humbled before the Lord for what we call car church.
Amen.
And Colby has consistently been the assembler of that, making sure that everybody gets so much of the information that it takes to keep that group going. But in there, we get to find out the real people that we are. And then when we translate that into meeting each other in the business, it's almost like business is secondary. But then it becomes something that is almost effortless, almost. You don't even have to work hard to be like, you know what? That's a solution. I want it. Let's get it. Let's put things together to make things better where we are. And we've honored having that relationship with you, brother. We can't say enough right here, but we want to say it publicly to let everybody know that you are 100% CGC approved. You do not have to go through this entire.
No, man, he was CGC
interview.
approved a long time ago, right? I think
way.
everybody who knows our relationship with Kobe knows that 100% he's a certified solutionary. He is CGC approved. He is everything that would go into the class of what we consider leveled up certified solutionary, man. And he's leveled up. He does it naturally. We don't even have to coach him on it. He just does it. And that's why we love you, brother. We're excited to be here today with you, man. And you know, before we do anything, you know what we always do, Lou?
Sir.
What do we do?
We make sure to apply these 3 F-bombs, right? And keep focusing on going to the next level by intentionally forgive, focusing, and flying so that we can keep growing. So you know the motions, my friend, and I know you know a lot of other dance moves. I've seen them. But let's go ahead and get forgive, focusing, and flying out here as we start this 5-liner with the incredible Colby Joyner. So Colby, let's go ahead and get those hands on the shoulders with me one time, and let's forgive, focus, fly on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus,
fly, and keep growing. You know the deal.
Here we go. It is time.
I've done it once or twice.
Yeah, I think you've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Kobe, we appreciate you, man, and we honor you. And I, you know, in my heart, I have an idea of what this answer is going to be, but I also know that it could change, and there is different levels of this why. What is your why? What drives you every single day, Kobe, to get up and just go out and wake up before the sunrise, drive where you need to go, do what you need to do to make sure that the day is going to be the best day possible?
Honestly, like my why is really, it's more of a proving something to myself, proving something that I'm capable and able and worthy of doing big things and growing and getting better and learning and being a resource for so many people. That's what I want to be. I want to be that resource. So my why every day is literally everybody else, right? And instead of saying like, and
Love that.
man, I've listened to so many of the five liners, and people say, well, other than family. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, family's important. I love my kids, right? Love my wife.
Truth.
But the reason I do all of this is for everybody else, not only to help them, but to show them that it's possible, regardless of where you came from or regardless of what you're doing right now. There's always ways to be better. And so every day I get up, like sometimes I don't like getting up early. Sometimes I don't like working late, working late into the day or working on days that I don't have to work. But I do it anyways, because that work ethic that thankfully, I was able to be close to Alex Flores for so long. And he has that grind mentality that, up at 4 a.m. and work until late and, 6-7 days a week kind of thing. I was fortunate to be working with him for so long that it's kind of embedded in me now. And so the why is always, how can I help people? Right. It's a servant mentality, really.
That's right, man.
Love it.
I love that and absolutely knew that.
It's not for fluff. You know what I mean?
It's definitely not fluff, folks.
Yeah,
he lives
absolutely.
that life. It's not. That's just it. That's how he comes off with everything he does. 100%.
There's a lot to be said when somebody is able to honor what it is that somebody else deposits in them, the habits that they get, the strength that they get, the success even that they see, because of them being able to be pliable in the areas of mentorship or the areas of leadership, and being a platform director for a great group with great motivators, with great culture, is something that has its own level of prestige and demand on it. But then you make the transition out of somewhat of the safety umbrella of a dealership, if you will, another, a completely other business, and jump into a posture where you have to completely create the face and the back end of what makes a brand come together, and get yourself out there and take that leap of faith. There's a lot to be said about people that do that. And for those of you that want to grow in your faith to do so, keep listening to people like Colby. Keep listening to people that you have seen make the transition from one safety zone of where good success could be cultivated, and got themselves out of the pot and started to find a way to start cultivating their own harvest.
Right.
There's a lot to be said on that, but we want to find out real quick, because you're more than just a tech guy. Although many people can say, man, you talk all the tech language. That's incredible.
I'm a full nerd, but that's okay. I mean, look, I'll be the first one to say it. I kind of jokingly have always said, like, I'll be self-deprecating before somebody else can
Right.
on me. And really, it's just like, man, dude, I'm a nerd and I'm proud of it, but I wasn't always that way. It's just, you start learning, hey, wow, this is kind of helpful. This is kind of interesting. And you start going that way. And then people look at you and say, hey, you're kind of a nerd. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess the glasses match now.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, brother, that's something that we love about you, is that as much nerd as there is mixed inside of your batch of Car Guy coffee, there's a lot of car guy inside of that. So help me understand, Colby, how did you find your way, and help our audience understand how you found your way to automotive?
It was kind of a weird journey. I actually started selling cars, I think when I was like 18 or 19, for a very brief amount of time. I would say 6 months. And in that 6 months, I learned that I can't sell cars very well. I was not the person I am today in terms of being able to easily listen to people and to take guidance and take advice. I was bullheaded, just like most 18, 19-year-olds were. And I didn't do very good. And so I quickly left, effectively on my feet, because I was so poor at selling cars that I got my own car repoed, right? Couldn't even pay for my own rent and stuff. And quickly left and decided to join the military, joined the Air Force, and really to kind of just reshape, right? I wanted to reshape who I was. I knew that I wasn't going down a very good path. I knew that I needed some guidance, and I decided to join the military. Did the military, fortunately I met my wife through the military because, she wasn't military, but she lived in North Dakota where I was stationed. And, I was so fortunate to meet her. I was an air traffic controller in the military. It was a great job, great career. And a lot of people have always asked, why didn't you continue that? Because it makes good money. It's because it was just whether fortunately or unfortunately, it was too damn stressful. Right.
One of the most stressful jobs that there is.
Yeah. So, got out of the military, became an EMT, a medic, in the civilian sector, and did that for a little while. Blew my back out doing that, literally 3 herniations in my low back, and just was done and shot. And so I had time at home where I was healing and trying to figure out what I was going to do. And ironically, my doctor said, hey, start getting massages, start, trying to feel better or whatever. So I did that, and I was like, well, why can't I be a massage therapist? Right. I already know the human body. I'm a medic. So I started doing that. And I did that for, several years, but in the end, I just wasn't making enough money. At that point, I had 2 kids. My wife was working, she's a nurse. And so she was working a lot of hours, and I was working, 30, 35 hours a week, as much as I could, physically do as a therapist. I was fortunate enough that I was working on Spurs players, San Antonio Spurs players, and doing a lot of advanced neuromuscular stuff. But I still wasn't making that much money. Right. I mean, at the end of the year, I was making $35,000, $40,000, and I felt like I was doing a really good job. I was an instructor. I was doing well. And finally went to my wife and told her, I said, hey, I got to do something different. I got to figure out a way to make money for us. And so I said, I'm going to go sell cars. And she thought I was crazy. And she still thinks I'm crazy, but that's just marriage. But she thought I was crazy. And so I went and started selling cars, and started selling cars in San Antonio. And it's kind of, that's where it started. And I was fortunate enough to be around some really good people there at the initial store that I was at. Actually, Lance Knopp, who is the operations director for Bravo Auto Group, is the guy that hired me into the business at that store in San Antonio. I was fortunate enough over the last several months before I came to Konect that we were able to work together again. But, he brought me in, and I did a lot of training there, and shortly got, connected with Alex and sold cars for him for a little while, and, was a marketing director for him back when he was at Capital, and kind of the ebb and flow, and a couple of jobs here and there. And then that's where you land me for where I'm at right now.
That's so awesome, man. What an incredible story. Real quick shout out I want to throw out to Michael Offmuth. I know he's on an airplane. He just sent me a text message from an airplane. He's watching the show live on a plane.
On a plane.
Wow, I don't know if that may be the first time I've seen that. So yeah, that is a way to forget focus fly. But shout out to you, Michael Offmuth, Elite FI Partners.
We are
out there. Elite FI. That's right, man. Love that guy. One of our very first sponsors ever on the show, and still sponsors us with love. I love him and I miss him, man. Good to see you, brother. Glad you're out there doing your thing. Saw you traveled out early. Keep rocking and rolling. So, man, what a story. What a way to get you back in the industry. Started off, came back, right? Your wife thought you were crazy, but you know what? You're right. All our wives think we're a little bit crazy, but I think when we do things that are a little bit outside of our comfort zone is where we grow the most.
And I think they love that crazy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny at this point. My wife my wife's a nurse still. She's a NICU nurse in San Antonio, and her friends will ask her, like, what does your husband do? She's like, I don't know, something with cars. Like she doesn't ever know what my role or my title is or what I'm doing or whatever. If I try to explain anything to her, she's like, it's about.
That's kind of like dealers about me and Lou right now.
Mm-hmm.
What did those guys do?
What do they do?
They're amazing energy and all that stuff. But what do they do exactly?
Yeah. I like to keep the mysterious nature.
We do too.
I love it.
We do too. But get ready, folks, and this isn't about us, but just so you know, you're about to start seeing some advertising and marketing about what we do. So be ready for it. So anyway, we're coming with that loudness. We're bringing the love, but most importantly, we're talking about Colby Joyner today. And Colby is killing it. Thankfully, he got back in this industry. Thankfully, he came in and he found the right people. Lance, an amazing person.
Lance.
Big shout out to Lance. I love where his mind is. He's a great professional. He works extremely hard.
Congrats on your new ride.
Yeah, man. Congrats on a lot of things, man. He's been working his butt off, but he's been on some nice vacations recently too with his family. Been able to spend some time, just doing things. But what you see outside of that is work. What he posts about is about his team. What he posts about is about the future of what Bravo looks like. He takes a lot of love in that. I mean, he was just at the NADA dealer thing, right? That's pretty big deal. That's pretty cool for him, man, the NADA school. So I'm pumped up for him. He's doing some amazing things, but man, once again, it's about the people we surround ourselves with. You know, you've had opportunities to be with good folks. You know, you talked about Alex Flores, you talked about Lance, you've talked about a few other people along the way, right? You've been able to now be a mentor. But along the way, of course, you've had people that you've leaned into, people who've inspired you. Could you name one, maybe 3, maybe 10? I don't care how many you name, but name people to you that really helped you make a big pivot in life, helped you make that change or see the light somewhere else.
You know, so obviously Alex has been really instrumental on who I am and my whole outlook on life. You know, Frank Lopes was a guy that I've been connected with for many years. And, you know, I've had a lot of struggles and stuff that I've called him on. And so I'm thankful to him in terms of that mentor-mentee relationship of being able to call him and say, hey, you know, I got a problem here, whether it's a personal or professional problem, right? I can talk to him and I can go through things. And he's been a great impact on my life. I mean, guys like you, I mean, and I know this is y'all's, you know, this is the 5-liner, Car Guy Coffee, all that stuff. But I mean, honestly, over the last year, y'all have been instrumental on so much stuff, being able to just, you know, bounce ideas after, you know, from each other and be able to call, you know, whenever. I mean, what was it last week? Lou, I said, hey, so are y'all going to stop FaceTiming me now? Or like, what's going on? Because, you know, I love those moments, you know, whenever y'all would call me when you're, you know, FaceTiming me when you're leaving a place. And even if it's a 5-minute conversation, like I get lifted up. Right. And so there's honestly so many people that I could name that it's kind of ridiculous. But it's because of those people that I am where I am today. Right. It's as humble as I can be. The only reason that I am here is because I had people surrounding me that were able to pull me up at the right times. Right. You have a lot of people that are a mentor that want to push in a certain direction. And I think a value of a mentor is being able to pull when needed. Right. Because you have to, like me, I've had to go through things, and I wish that I wouldn't have gone through those things, but I had to go through those things. Right. And so the value of that mentor is being able to lift you up when it is necessary. It's like you know, I mean, I'm a father to 3 kids. I got a kid going into sophomore year of high school, and I got one that just graduated kindergarten, and a middle child that's going into 6th grade. You know, with your kids that you can't always pick them up or prevent them from failing. Like you have to allow them to fail. You have to allow them to mess up or, you know, do something wrong or get in trouble or, you know, hey, sure, you want to ride your bike and you want to ride it fast and you fall off and skin your knee. That's kind of on you, but you're okay. You know, brush it off and you're going to be fine. So
put some dirt on it. That's good.
Exactly. Dirt don't hurt. Right.
That's
so,
right.
But I mean, there's so many people in my life that have been that way, you know, and it's almost, and I've had a lot of reverse mentors, if that makes sense.
No, I do.
I completely get it. I know what you're saying.
Like reverse mentors where I'm mentoring them or they are doing something, and it's whether they believe it or not, they're showing me the way. Right. You know, my brother is amazing, and he has a company out of Fort Worth that does creative designs and websites and all this other stuff called Ashford Creative. And you know, my brother and I always didn't have the best relationship growing up because we're 2 years apart, and we'd always fight, and we'd had different, you know, we would share friends and then have different friends. It was just kind of that animosity relationship. Right. But as I got older, you know, my brother is the first one to tell me, like, Colby, I didn't think you were going anywhere. I thought that things were just going to be kind of mediocre for you. But my brother is one of the first people outside of my parents that I share my wins with. And I don't share my wins with my brother because I want to brag to my brother, but it's because he's so passionate about saying, man, I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. But a lot of what he does and a lot of his experiences and the things that he's gone through, it shapes me as well. So he's kind of that reverse mentor, even though he's younger than me and he's my little brother. He's that reverse mentor. He's the one that allows me to kind of stay focused on the things that I need to do, because at the same time, I want to make him proud. Right. Even being my little brother, I want to make him proud. I want to make my family proud. I want to make my friends and neighbors and everybody around me proud, not to know me, but just proud that that we're friends. Right. I don't want to be that negative space in somebody's life.
Wow,
that's powerful.
So there's a lot to sip on there. I mean, because there's the reverse mentorship. There's the understanding that there's many people, many voices, many things that do pierce the heart, that actually stay, right, and then do produce fruit. And then, but understanding that sometimes the best way to learn something is to be teaching it. And
I have failed way more than I've won.
come on,
Amen.
oh, man, how about that? Well, speaking of that, and what a lob up for the next question. You must have watched this show once or twice, brother. But that's exactly where we go next, right? Because and here it is, guys and gals. The format is going to be consistent. We want to make sure we pull out the right information from each bean brewing in the car business. I want to make sure that you all completely are clear on the purpose of why it is that we're even out here pouring out these solutions, why incredible people like Colby spend the time that he does with us, but why he does what he does in the business. You hear him saying that it's to help other people. It's the other people. It's their why. It's to get them where it is that they're supposed to go. And all that is being put in here are the things that are required for you, listener, watcher, maybe reader, to take what it is that's being put inside of the cup and utilize it. Your mentors wouldn't get much glory, and not that they're seeking any of that, but if you didn't put to work any of the things that you taught them, they wouldn't see any great fruit. They probably would lose out on some of the excitement that there is inside of them being able to see fruition come inside of your life because of the things that they deposited.
Yeah.
Same thing with you. You're depositing things into many people's lives, and as you start to see them turn into fruit, man, how rewarding is that? How great is that? That's incredible. But it isn't always roses. The brew isn't always a perfect cup of coffee. Anybody have a bad cup of coffee? Huh? They're out there, okay? We promise. And it's important that we do get the best quality out of it. And out of that, we got to find some of the stuff that can give you the chance to be bitter, that you overcome in order to get better. And inside of that, Colby, what has been some of the hardest lessons that you've had to learn, or what is the hardest lesson you've learned up to this point inside of your career, making these transitions? There's a lot of learning, which has been the hardest part of the lessons.
That is a very difficult. I mean, obviously I've watched the show 100 times, right? But and I actually didn't mean to lob that up. It just happened. It happened to happen,
bro. That's how we flow.
But I would say probably the hardest lesson is that it is not. And people may not agree with this, but it's not completely on you.
Come on.
Right. And so on my end, for a long time, I always thought that I had to bear the weight of everything. Right. And it was on my shoulders, and I'm the only one that can figure it out. And I'm the only one that can solve the problem. And I isolated myself in that regard. Right. I didn't seek help of others. I didn't, I didn't look for advice. I tried to just figure it out on my own. Now, granted, there's great lessons to be learned in doing that. You can see your kind of internal potential, but as soon as I started to give it up to other people, right, and say, look, I am humble enough to know that I don't know. And as soon as I said, I don't know, and I opened myself up to allow people to start pouring in, things, I mean, it was like night and day, right? Things completely changed in my life, personally and professionally. But that was the hardest thing to learn over that course, going back to the kind of my backstory, over that course of, graduating high school and trying to go to college and not doing very well in college and bailing out and going to try to sell cars and doing all this other stuff. I was so hard-headed. And, I was like, oh, life is easy and it's going to be easy. I just got to get a job and I'm going to make some money. I'm going to meet a girl and I'm going to have kids and everything's going to be good. But, you get stopped in your tracks relatively quickly when you do not care to share yourself with others and you think that it's all on your shoulders. So that right there was like the pivotal part in my life from that, I would say 25 to 28-ish years those 3 years right there were probably the most difficult in my life, because I was growing. I had to understand that I had to allow people in. I had to allow people to help me, but at the same time, I was learning from that. And the good thing is even though I wasn't necessarily helping others at that time, but it goes back to that reverse mentoring, right? People were probably getting mentored by me, but through that reverse mentoring and seeing what they should or shouldn't do. But during that time period, I wasn't necessarily, helping other people, but I was learning how to help other people by being helped. And if I would not have done that or had to go through that, then I wouldn't be in a position now where I have the ability to help some people that are coming up in the business. I have some ability to give some advice or some thoughts or some ideas to other people. Here's my nerd talk. It's like, I'm an open API, right? I'm open to I'm open to share anything. I'm open to be, whatever you need me to be if you are calling on me for help. So that would be my hardest lesson, is just being open.
Wow. Being open.
That's pretty profound, my friend.
So hard to get anything in the cup like this.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Wow. The old API.
Guys, if you guys haven't read anything about the APIs lately, you are missing out on a barn burner, because they are amazing stuff.
I'll give you links to articles.
Listen, Colby.
But I love your choice of words on that. I do, and I'll comment more on that here in a little bit. But that's very good. Very good. Keep rocking.
And he's right, and it is his choice of words here. Obviously where Colby's going, he's the type of person that you want to reach out to, because you don't have to know all this stuff if you have somebody that'll take care of it all for you, right? Somebody that's proficient at this type of language, somebody who speaks geek, right? And I mean that in the nicest way, because Colby says he admits that he loves it. He even smiled. He loves it, right?
Best Buy's like, yo, we got a squad.
But that is what it's about, man. Konect.ai, where he's at right now, my friends, is something special. And there's a reason why Colby made a big shift in his life. It wasn't something that he thought was something that would maybe work. He knew that if he put the work behind it, that great things would happen. And that's what's amazing about life. As we go through life, we have whys. We have a reason why we get in this industry. We have people who've helped us along the way. We have lessons that we learn. But when we work really hard and we grow and we make shifts, there's rewards. Up to this point in your life, up to this point in your career, what has been your greatest reward?
Just being able to be here doing this.
Hey.
I mean, it's as simple as it sounds.
I agree.
To have the opportunity and to be blessed this much, to have a life like this, to have a family like this, to have friends like this, coworkers and everybody that surrounds me, to be so blessed to have what I have is my biggest win. I never maybe when I was a kid, I thought I was, I'm going to go play professional baseball and I'm going to do this and I'm going to make millions of dollars and everybody's going to love me. I mean, yeah, you have those kind of outlandish ideas of how your life is going to end up. But in the end, just being able to have the opportunities that I have, the life that I have, is my biggest win. 1000% my biggest win. I wake up every day thanking God at how blessed I am. And I mean that. It's not something I'm saying like, oh, I'm telling everybody that may be watching or may watch in the future that, I get up and thank God. I literally get up and thank God every morning that I have the comfortable bed that I get to lay in, that, the houses that I have is nice and comfortable, that I have amazing kids, that I have an amazing career, that, everything. It's mind boggling how I'm sitting right now and knowing that it could all go in an instant. Right. And so, yeah, but that's the thing. You don't know. So you can't take what you have currently for granted. Doesn't mean that you have to accept what you have as everything in futurity, right? It's not like this is what I'm going to have forever. It could go bad or could go good, but just being able to be thankful with what you have right now and having the mindset to say that I'm thankful for what I have right now. I'm thankful for the abilities that I have right now. I'm thankful for everything. That's the biggest reward that I have. I mean, if my career stopped and everything was good and we're done, I'm still going to look back on this and say the biggest thing I received from automotive is the family, the opportunity, the knowledge. I mean, that's really what I've captured from this. Is I'm in a situation that I never thought I would be in, that I never dreamed that I would be in. And, you know, some of the positions that I've had and some of the roles that I've had and the people that I've been so fortunate to be around, I'm still kind of blown away with it. Right. And so, man, I'm happy. There's nobody's going to steal my sunshine at the moment.
Come on.
I love it.
Because I'm happy. Clap along. Well, I love that. I love your heartbeat. I love the explanation of your reward. The thing is we know you, and this is something that we want to make sure has value to everybody that does get the chance to listen, hear, share around, which you can continue sharing this around. Okay, it's worth your car guys and car gal colleagues to jump inside of this brew. Actually, there's no but to that. They need to jump into that and listen to what it is that you're brewing. I want to highlight again, going back, because we're talking about a great man behind the curtain of a great product. Okay. The format of what it is that we do, car guys and car gals, is make sure that we do talk about 100% Car Guy Coffee approved products that are out there, but we're more about the beans behind it, the people that are behind it. And even Brian Benstock, he explained there's not too many billionaires inside of sports, right? We all have those kid dreams where we hope that maybe we can make it in the pros, right? Maybe we can make it there. We're going to play baseball. Maybe me, I'd soccer, right? I'm not the size. But in that we go into these different dreams, right? Of what we want to do. We want to be a superstar. We want to be a maybe a singer, an actor, or whatever. There's not a lot of billionaires that are made inside of that, right, Colby? This auto industry has made some billionaires. There's some people in this industry, whether it's a product that connects into the industry, or it's multiple dealerships, whether it's a product, whether it's a vehicle itself. This industry can create billionaires, or it can set you up for success at whatever level it is that you want. Right. And we honor that you are that kind of guy, but you use I love the acronyms, right? And the nerd side of us on the military side. And again, thank you for your service. Mm-hmm. Got Air Force representing over here. You should be pumped, right?
Hoorah, Air Force.
Right. But inside of that, you use that acronym, the API. And for those car guys and car gals that aren't too familiar with that kind of that kind of conversation, or that kind of a actual or the verbiage in there is the application programming interface. Is that application program interface? Is that pretty much right?
I just know it as API.
Okay. Well, inside of that,
there's a limited. So like I'm nerd, but I'm not. You know, like there's.
He's nerd.
I know what it means, and I know what it does, and I know how it facilitates stuff. But you know, it's so much easier just for me to say API.
They just say API, right? Yeah. But know the words behind it, right? So and maybe I tend to get a little bit deeper inside of the brew, but knowing that as the application does have its interface, everything that does pour into it, right? And then it's programmed. Now you are programmed to do what it is that you do. You explained your proximity to an Alex Flores, your proximity to other to a Lance Knopp, your proximity to Car Guy Coffee podcast, right? Us Brewing Solutions. That proximity to people that are able to pour in the good stuff then gets you programmed to create that function anywhere and everywhere that you go. That's why it's critical for those of you that are listening. Again, I can get very wordy about this, but to find the right stuff to put inside of your cup. And Colby explained how important it was that he did remove the lid from the cup. If you're going to get refilled, you got to take the lid off, everybody.
Yes, sir.
I know it sounds simple, but it's for real. You got to do it in order for you to be refreshed. And you can't live off of yesterday's Car Guy coffee. You need it today. You need a fresh batch today. You need a fresh cup today. And I want to know real quick, what do you do right now? And this is just bonus, extra shot inside of this cup. What is it that you do to consistently make sure that you are putting something fresh in every day, that you are building the habits that are getting you constantly refreshed, mentored, and taught to go to the next level? Colby?
I communicate with as many people as humanly possible.
Mm.
Almost in
Love that.
almost in an annoyance to my wife. My wife, it gets frustrated. I mean, she walked in. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" It was a Sunday, right? And we're talking work, we're talking automotive, we're talking whatever. And I know you guys understand that, right? But I honestly, the best way, you know, there's so many different ways to learn. You know, you have the auditory people that listen to a podcast, and you have the people that are tactile and they have to do something with their hands, you know, or the visual people that have to watch a video or watch something, you know. So for me, it's conversations. It's being able to have that conversation with people and expand my mind with them, because I can get lost in my thoughts, you know.
Yes.
And so
I don't even know what you mean.
yeah, so you know, anytime that I have, I mean, I can tell you, my wife works nights, and you know, up until recently she was full time. Now she's working 2 days a week. She was working 3 days a week, if not more. And so there was a lot of nights that I was home. You know, I'm at home, the kids are asleep, and it's, you know, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. They're asleep. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not really the TV guy as much as I used to be. I love movies, but I haven't really, you know, I go and see new movies when they come out, but that's about it. And so instead of hopping on the couch and watching TV, I'll figure out a way to have a conversation, right? I've had some amazing conversations with Michael Cirillo, right? Michael Cirillo is an amazing guy, and
he's your twin, man.
I know, right? We at one point, hopefully sometime in the near future, at some conference, we're probably going to go dressed as twins, like literally like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito twins. But I've had amazing conversations with him and amazing conversations with so many people. But that's what typically has happened. Like from the 9 o'clock to sometimes 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm on a FaceTime, I'm on a Zoom, I'm on some kind of screen share, and I'm working through problems, and somebody else may have a problem, and we talk about it. That's how I continually refill every day. It's just having the conversations. A buddy of mine, and y'all know him, Roy Davila.
What up, Roy?
He's been calling me Shark Tank, right? Because I'm just constantly always coming up with new ideas. It's always something like, well, hey, we can go this way, or we can do this, or we can try this. And that's the only way that I can continually get better, is expanding my mind and the possibilities of what is out there. Right. If I stay honed in on a specific spot, I start to lose the luster. Yes. Right. So I got to constantly be kind of scanning the horizon and saying, what's coming, what's about to happen, who has a problem, do I have a problem, you know, do I need to find a solution from somebody, or am I the solution? Right. So constantly going back and forth and being able to have those conversations is what allows me to refill every day. I mean, if I don't talk to people, I'm telling you guys, I'm depressed. Like if I don't have conversations with people, I'm like, nobody loves me. I'm like Eeyore, you know? And so having those conversations is like a lifeblood for me.
Man, well, that's good to know. For those of you that want to make sure that he doesn't ever spiral out, make sure that you reach out to him and give him a call. Right. Just give him a shout, because we want to talk to our brother. We want to keep him encouraged. But no, brother, that does make sense. That's very key. For those of you that enjoyed that extra shot, make sure that you let him know. Put a coffee cup emoji inside of the comments there. Give him a thumbs up. But you said a cool word over there, and it was expansion. So I know there's a lot of expansion that's going on.
There is, man. You know, and right? You know what's so cool about our show is that, yeah, we did a 5-liner, but this is our show, so we can do a little change up at the end. I know that we have somebody that's in the back room right now, and we have a special announcement coming from you. Pretty big things, you know, as you are growing, your company grows. As your company grows, positions get filled. And I know that today that you have an announcement about a new position that just got filled. So I'm going to keep it about that. It's about as much beans as I'm going to spill. I'm going to allow you to spill the rest of these beans over, my friend. I do appreciate you again, man. This 5-liner was fuego as always. Most importantly, I just love hanging out with you. So we got this thing done. But the next step is coming to our studio in Tampa and doing a live show together. So
you can come to this studio in here.
Yeah, or we can
do a remote in your spot. But you need to come to our studios too, because this one right here is inside of Fred's crib. So you need to come too.
Yeah, absolutely.
we're going to be having an event soon, and I know that Konect.ai will definitely be there. So I'm excited about all that kind of stuff. It'll be fun, but we have great people out there. We got Brian Ortega, Jason Bryce, Roy. We have so many people just throwing a lot of love at you today, man, and we do appreciate it. But folks, are you guys ready for this huge announcement? I mean, are you guys ready for this? I know I'm ready to hear this huge announcement. I'm excited to share this huge announcement.
You're spilling beans everywhere. Colby,
that's about it.
Something to say?
What do you got to say?
Yeah. So, obviously Konect.ai, we've done this whole rebrand and re-imaging of what we're doing, really changing the direction of the company and where it's going and how we can help be a solution for so many dealerships out there that are having problems with lead management or problems with anything. And in order to make sure that we are giving the top tier, most effective solution out there, we have to bring the top tier, most effective solutionaries, right?
Ooh,
and so on that note, we actually, as of today, Mr. Jared Kilway, formerly of Germain Toyota.
I see. Okay, come on.
He is starting today as our Vice President of Strategy and Success for Konect.ai.
Wow. How about that? Well, there is only one way for us to bring somebody in to the show, and they have to be announced. They have to have some music around them. So welcoming to the cafe, newly appointed with Konect.ai, there is the one, the only, Jared Kilway. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, brother? Welcome.
What's happening, everybody? How's it going?
Right, man, we're pumped up to have you here, brother. So let everybody know what's going on, who you are, what's happening, and how excited you are, my friend.
Oh, I'm jacked, and as Brian Kramer will tell you, it's all about having fun, and it's all about continuing to push yourself to the next level. And this gives the opportunity to both bring a little A-Flow and a little bit of Kramer together with what Colby and I are doing now with Konect.ai. So very, very excited what's coming down the pipeline and how we together can help not only dealers, but vendors and the industry as a whole be better day in, day out.
Wow. Well, welcome. Sounds like he's speaking solutionary language. Oh, yes. So that's like my third language. So,
I dropped solutionary multiple times and talking about them.
You did, man. And we're excited to have you on the show. We're excited to see what you're going to do. I'm excited to see Colby team up with somebody that he's this excited about also. So there's some big things coming. I know we're coming from the DNA and coming from where you just came from. I know that your mindset's in the right place for what's coming up in the future. So being there with Colby right now, being able to strategize together and figure out how successful the sales staff can be and everything that goes on there, man, it's going to be amazing. I'm pumped up to see what happens.
Yeah,
this is just the beginning, my friends. A lot of the stuff is new, friends. Great stuff. We got Jason Rice saying a lot of big announcements on people in new positions today. Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just in case everybody saw it with Brian's announcement here earlier today on a SODU, Brian Kramer is now the EVP of Cars.com and general manager of AccuTrade. So lots of new things coming today, but
mark the day. This is an important day. Mark the day.
That's right.
June 13th.
13th. Ooh. Lucky number 13, man. And it really is. And hey, great number. That's my number. Hey, Dan Marino. Anyway, so that being said, absolutely love what's going on. Congratulations to you, man. So making the shift for you, I would, just got to ask Jared, what made you say it's time to make the change?
It was clarity. And, that's one of my words. I'm sure you've heard Kramer say it when he was on here with you as well, but it's clarity. It's getting that opportunity to see clearly through what you're intended to do. What's that next step? So when you feel, when the vision gets a little foggy there a little bit, usually go to the eye doctor, get glasses or contacts. So was feeling a little fuzz going on, a little blurred lines per se. And I think together, Colby and I are going to be able to provide the clarity needed for both of us.
I love it. This sounds like a solutionary, and I love that. And
I love it too.
That's why the key piece for solutionary is to fight for that focus. If you got those fogged up glasses, you need to fight for that focus. And sometimes it means helping somebody else come in and say, you know what? I can't see it from my side. What does it look like on your side? right? What does it look like from your vantage point? Because we can all be looking at the same thing and describe it completely differently, and legitimately looking at the same thing, see different sides of it. And this is what happens when we amplify our strengths together and say, you know what? Let's make sure that whatever it is that got us to where we are, we make sure that we stay focused on what has brought growth. We eliminate the things that have slowed us down, and we make sure to keep stretching out and flying and finding the right people like Jared to do it with. Brother, this is exciting. How excited are you? Seriously, like,
yeah,
1 to 10, 1 to 10. Or what are we going to put that
on? There's no numbers in place for it. So the beauty of it is going back to what you guys were saying earlier, getting Colby down to Tampa, that's no problem because I'm down here in Fort Myers. So
all right.
Now he's got an excuse to come down to Florida and we get this planned out.
I got an excuse for me to come down to Fort Myers. I mean, I love it down that way. Naples is where a lot of my family grew up. So like my cousins, my grandmother lives there, my grandfather lives there. So, you know, a lot of reasons for me to go down that way too. So anyway, that being said, man, we had a lot of great people just chime in. And Derek Bumper said, "What's up,
Katie? How are you?
Man, he's been doing some things, you know.
Roy,
yeah, Katie, yeah, Roy, Michael
Cirillo
in the house.
Made it to the
he says it looks like I'm looking in the mirror.
In the mirror,
that's right. He is.
Yeah, see that, guys? You see his little face? You see that right there? Doesn't it look alike? Oh my goodness.
But man, but it's amazing. You know, we got a bunch of solutionaries chiming in right now. And I think a lot of people are excited to see this shift happening. Jared, man, pumped up about you being part of the team, man. And, you know, I've heard a lot of things about you. It's good to finally meet you. Yes. We get to really know who you are. Look forward to hearing more about you, man. Keep growing and don't stop. Next thing you know, you're on Car Guy Coffee, which is the pinnacle of all podcasts out there. I'm sure you know.
Pinnacle.
Shout out to Pinnacle.
Sean out to Pinnacle. But yeah, we do appreciate you, man. We appreciate you guys coming on here and making the announcement here on Car Guy Coffee.
Yep.
Y'all heard it here first. We're talking about Konect.ai, and Konect.ai is going places. They are forgiving, focusing, and flying, and they're going to just keep growing and keep growing. Laser-like focus, my friend. Love it.
That laser-like focus. So because we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast, and we are speaking with a solutionary, there are 3 F-bombs a solutionary's got to do. So now that you're on the show, you got to forgive, focus, and fly with us as we take it on out for everybody. So go ahead and get yourself ready. You know,
JP just says, that's not Michael Cirillo. No, I know. That's Colby Joyner. I know. Maybe some of y'all watching because you thought it was Michael.
That's his twin.
This is his twin. All right.
Help us out, everybody. Let's forgive, focus, and fly on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep growing. This has been an incredible brew. All you solutionaries out there, Michael Cirillo, excited that you're still inside of the cafe brewing with us today. But we want to make sure that we say thank you so much for the incredible, the one, the only Jared Kilway.
That's right, Jared. Thank you.
On the cafe, and for this incredible 5-liner with the one,
the only Colby Joyner.
That's right, everybody. I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And you have been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. Thank you so much. Share it around. Wave goodbye, everybody, because this brew is over. Love you all. Out.
Peace.